Today we have a little bit of a somber episode of Renegade Real Estate TV because one of our team members, Rocky the Fish, has passed away. But we're not going to let that stop us. What we're going to discuss today is a little bit story about a cat, and we have some interesting stuff for you to think about.
Hey everyone. So today we were going to tape do a little video on something a little bit more serious, like your long-term plans with your properties. But then Mike came in and started kind of punched you there. Eh? Mike came in and started talking about what happened with the property and the way that you had got a property rented. No, someone chose to buy a property, right, or rent a property. Sorry, someone chose to rent a property based on a pretty different style of marketing that we've never done before. Can you explain to someone listening to this what you did?
Yeah, so basically I was out with some people who were out of town. They actually came from Ottawa, and they were here for one day, and we actually went to look at about 14 properties in Kitchener, Cambridge, and Waterloo. Because they only had one day, time was of the essence, and of those 14, they liked one home, which was located in Kitchener. The house was a little over 60 years old. I thought that there may be some foundation issues. They were okay with that. They really wanted this house. I couldn't talk them out of it. So they went back home to Ottawa, and
but did you talk them out of that home?
Not at the time. I tried to.
Okay.
It didn't seem to work. So what I did then is.
And the reason you were trying to talk them out of that home is because basically foundation, not a good home.
It was my guess. Yeah, I didn't think it was a good home.
Yeah,
not at all. But to them, you know, they were coming out of a rental situation, and they thought it was a fabulous home.
Okay.
So
then what did you? Yeah, you found a better home.
Yeah, it just wasn't sitting well with me. Yeah, they were in Ottawa. I went out the next day. I just booked a ton of other homes to go see, and
wait, hold on. They know you were doing this?
No.
So you did this just because you didn't like the other property they chose?
I wouldn't have felt comfortable with that property.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I went out and I actually brought a camera, and out of I probably saw about 10 homes that day. I filmed two homes that I consider A homes, like A+ homes, really nice properties. Went in, video recorded the home, all the rooms, the basement, the outside.
What did you video record? Just like with a camera on movie mode?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then went home, loaded it up onto YouTube, said, hey guys, you know what? I think I found a better property. Two actually. And here's my first choice, here's my second choice. What do you think? Go to YouTube, check out this URL, and from there they were able to watch a video of the actual home, and they completely agreed from the video, and they agreed, you know, the first choice.
There's so many good points in here. I don't even know where to begin. Like the first one is that you didn't like the property that they were going to buy, so you took it upon yourself to go out and look at other properties. But the big point there is that you use tools that are available to all of us. Like you used YouTube and videos to show somebody a home when they were far away and couldn't see the home.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean that's what we're always talking about. Never have one way to advertise your property. Never have one way to do anything. Never have a single point of failure. You use the tools at your disposal to get, you know, this property shown to people who are hours away.
Right.
Fantastic. Now you got to tell everyone what happened with the cat.
It was the first home I was in, and I wasn't actually prepared for this. There was actually 3 cats, and as I was exiting the sliding doors to get into the backyard, because there was a hot tub in the backyard, as I was trying to film the hot tub, and I was coming back into the house, one of the cats decides to bolt for the backyard. So I have the camera in my right hand, the listing in my left hand. All I catch is this black object flying over my right foot. I decide to give a little lift with my foot, which was the cat, which I was able to then catch in my left hand and then throw the cat gently back into the house and close the door. So I saved the cat from escaping. And
so this is the way of you saying you're a superstar.
Well,
you are. Awesome story, man. That's it. That's what we wanted to share today. Until next time, everyone, your life, your terms. Okay, so in this segment of Renegade Real Estate TV, we wanted to talk about something, and this gets a little bit serious, is that when we're talking with different real estate investors, one thing we notice a lot is that some people are buying real estate with perhaps some short-term thinking in mind. Okay, and here's what I mean. is today, if you look at historical interest rates, today's interest rates are super, super low. Okay, so if this is today, and this is like the early 1980s, interest rates are about here. They're super low. Okay, but if you go back in the early 80s and you look at interest rates were in the high teens. So interest rates were up here, and they kind of did this, and they did some funky stuff like this. Okay, so interest rates were in the high teens. This was like, we're talking like 16, 17% up there. So my question to you, if you're an active real estate investor right now, is if interest rates, if we put this chart a little bit further and interest rates do something like this, are you ready for it? Are you ready for it with your properties? And what are you thinking? And what's your plan? If this is your worst case scenario as a real estate investor, high interest rates because it's going to increase the cost of your properties, what are you doing about it today? And it's something to keep in mind. People think, we all tend to have a very short memory, and as far as interest rates get concerned, and this is something that can happen. All right, I mean, history's proven that it can happen. So if this happens, your cost when you renew your mortgage is going to likely go way up, and your real estate's going to be harder to sell. So if your answer over here is that you're going to sell your property, when interest rates go that high up, it gets hard to sell properties, and typically the market price or the market value of the properties at that time will decrease because there'll be less buyers in the market, so the value is going to go down. And when we're talking to some of our friends in the States, they've lost 30% on their properties. 30%. So if they bought a property for like 200,000, to give it an easy example, the property's down to like, what's 30%? The property's down to $140,000 in value. So my question again to you is this: what are you doing to plan for the worst case scenario? Because are you happy to have an asset that might produce cash flow for you, even in this environment? Or are you going to be so upset that you've lost that 30% in appreciation that you're ready to sell your properties and you can't hold them because of high interest rates? What's your plan today for this time in the future? And maybe this time never comes in Canada. Maybe we avoid it altogether, but what are you planning today? Have you thought about that? And I don't want to give you all the answers. We're actually going to share some of our thinking on this in our Income for Life newsletter with our members, but I purposely don't want to give the answers because I want you to think about it. What's your specific plan for this type of environment? So that's it for today. Think about these this high interest rates, possible drop in appreciation, and no one says it can happen. No one really thinks about these big drops in appreciation, but our friends just south of the border got hit with this pretty hard. It's something that you should be thinking about, you should be planning about, you should have a worst case scenario planned out for your properties. And if you're just thinking about like today's immediate monthly cash flow and 1 year's worth of appreciation at a time, you're missing the big picture. Plan for it today. We know from personal experience that this can happen at any moment, and it can happen fast. There's a time in the not so distant past that interest rates went up in Canada 2.9% in 1 month. And that wasn't that long ago. So make sure you're thinking about it today, and get your worst case scenario planned out so that you're ready when this comes. So when everyone else is crying about a 30% drop in prices of homes, you have your plan, and you're buying real estate, cash flow real estate that you're willing to hold on to, even if the values drop after you've bought it. That's it. Hopefully I've given you something to think about today. Until next time, your life, your terms.